I got to ask the first question, I suppose. Kurt Warburton's had sort of two bites at the lightweight title now. Obviously, he's come up short, but what's next for Kurt?
That's down to Kurt to speak with his camp, see what he wants to do. He's obviously goes down in pecking order because that lightweight division is stacked. So he'll be 2 or 3 fights before he'd be back in that look again for that title. But
there is he goes on a 2 or 3 fight win streak. You have no problem putting on Warburton Ray 4.
I'm not going to look at Warburton Ray again. I think that's put to bed now. But I think if Stevie carries on going the way he's going, he might not be here. So you just got to wait and see what happens over the next year or so, where both guys are, where Kurt's head is, what he wants to do. So it's going to be down to them to decide.
We saw Stevie mention it then. You saw the fans that he brought down to Newcastle. He says there's a 3,000 arena in Fife or wherever it is close to him. He says he'll fill the place on his own. What do you think to that?
I'm up for that. We just got to do the logistics on Fife. It's Cage Warriors is an international organisation. There's a lot of people fly in from around the world, so getting people to Fife in airports and transport would need to be looked at a little bit more in depth. Glasgow is a possibility. I think where we did the shows in Glasgow previously at the Kelvin Hall, that was closed down for a year for refurbishment, and I've been chatting with them again. We may go back there in the new year, but if we can find another venue that's suitable and Stevie wants to sell it out, then yeah, we'll chat with him. Yeah.
This was almost like Super Saturday B to be followed by Super Saturday C in 2 weeks' time. Is this because you've had to withdraw events from the Middle East, or was it always the plan to put on a November to remember, as it were?
I like that, November to remember. It was the whole Middle Eastern issues. I had to pull 4 shows that I had dated in the diary from September to the end of the year. And with everything that's gone on in the region, it's caused a lot of problems. And I think a lot of businesses, international businesses, will get affected. There'll be a domino effect to that in time. So because of that, we still have a roster of fighters that we need to keep busy. And I've made a commitment to them, and the only way around that was to pile those guys in and get as many fighters as we could that were ready onto the Newcastle show and the London one as well.
Have we got any European events that haven't been announced for the rest of the year, or are you now, is that it, all the events have been announced until sort of Dublin New Year's Eve?
Yeah, I think they've been announced now. I have no more rabbits in the hat to pull out for the rest of this year. I've ran out of time. We've got 8 weeks left before the end of the year. So yeah, I think we'll do London, New Year's, and then regroup and see what we're going to do for 2015.
Obviously London's the huge card next time out, but it's been sort of conspicuously quiet on the New Year's Eve scenario. Any idea what we can be expecting at the top of the bill there?
More of the same of what you saw today, man. Tonight was a special night in Newcastle. The crowd inside in that arena were pretty crazy, and it just got louder as it went on, and we'll stack it and build it for New Year's Eve as well. Yeah.
And who was most impressive for you tonight?
Tonight, there's a lot there tonight, man. I mean, I actually spent most of my time working against the clock with satellite time and making sure that everything ran to the clock, because we had, what, seven decisions?
Yeah.
So it's rare that we have that many decisions and all the fight time that's allocated is actually taken. So yeah, so I spent a lot of time. We had to organise the swing bout, we had to pull a fight back, we had to move a fight forward. So I spent a lot of time doing that tonight, so I didn't get my usual sit down and watch a lot of the fights, but I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah.
The UFC have just recently come back from Sweden. You were supposed to be there before them, and then obviously the SMMAF, broke apart. Are you any close? You said that once they had put their body back together, that you'd be in conversation with them. Is there any news on perhaps a Swedish card at the beginning of the year?
I've always said I'll go back to Sweden. I have spoken to the SMMAF, and they have told me that they should have things lined up and ready to go pretty soon with clearer guidelines. So once they send me those clear guidelines, then we will talk again. Yeah.
So had a bit of a breakthrough deal for this show with the Daily Mail. Any idea thus far on how that's gone? Have you had any feedback yet, or is it too early to say?
Yeah, well, we spoke to one of the guys, and they're pretty happy with what's going on there. They got a lot of feedback on their app and on their website of the build-up that we'll be doing, and they'll be all over Cage Warriors for the London show at the Olympic Village as well. So it was a good deal to do because they've got a massive online readership. So to actually get eyes on the sport in that context with them I thought it was a groundbreaking deal to do with them, and for them to even take it on, it's good for the sport. So we'll do London with them, and then we'll regroup with them again and see where we're at.
And have you felt, obviously it's still early days, but have you guys in the Cage Warriors office felt the kickback from that yet? You know, the feedback and whatnot?
Feedback from which?
From the Daily Mail, you know, the stuff that they've been putting out. Have you seen a noticeable, you know,
well, yeah, there's a spike on the website. There's been a spike on the social media aspect of things, but we'll sit down with them next week. Now that they've got the first stream out of the way, we'll sit down with them probably Wednesday or Thursday and see what kind of numbers were there and how it went down. So.
You said a few months ago that you were starting a dating process with Channel 4, that you had sort of 8 dates. Well, now that it's become a menage a trois, how's it going with Channel 4? And you pleased with sort of the exposure that they're helping to give you?
Yeah, I'm very happy with them. I think we're boyfriend girlfriend now. We've moved on from.
What does the Daily Mail think of that?
we've moved on from dating now. We're boyfriend girlfriend. We're an official couple. I'm very happy with what they're doing. I know it's not a massive airtime, but they've already said that they want to bring the time slot that we have with them back, which is a good thing. We'll probably speak to them before we break up at the end of the year and see what we're going to nail down for 2015. But yeah, I'm very happy with what they're doing. Short shows, but you know, they work. We get in, if we can, 3 full fights, highlight the rest of them. So they'll take, we'll give them a show out of this one. I think out of the London event, they'll get 2 shows out of that one. So we'll give them 3 shows over next month on Channel 4, yeah.
Featherweight title, obviously you said you didn't get to see as much as you would have liked,
yeah.
But Alex Enlund took the title.
Yeah.
On 3 weeks notice, went 5 rounds, and both guys, to be fair, in the 5th round was still
yeah.
going hard. Did you manage to catch much of that one? And you know,
I did actually see that fight. That was a great fight. I enjoyed that from top to bottom. It was technical, it was back and forth. Both guys just left it all in there. Who for Alex yet? I don't know. I'll sit down with the maestro Ian Dean and see what kind of names he wants to chuck on the table for Alex, but I don't think Alex will be doing anything soon. That him and Nad kind of left a little bit of leather on each other's faces, so I think it'll be recovery time for the pair of them. But you know, I think Alex dominated. He deserved the win, but you can't take anything away from Nad. That was a great fight, man. Absolutely fantastic fight. Yeah.
And the comeback of the night, Paddy Pimblett. I mean, see that one clean clocked with a big left hook, and you know, probably more memorable you'll see tomorrow, the post-fight interviews. What do you think of that kid?
The Milky Bar kid, I call him. Yeah, Paddy's a talent, man. I think Paddy is itching to run away with it and run ahead, and sometimes you got to look at Paddy and think he's only 19 years of age, you know, and the more you can just keep him back and let him develop and become a man, he's going to be a real force in this sport. To do what he's doing at 19, it's going to be very interesting to see what he's going to do maybe when he goes to the States and has a few camps in the States and trains with other level guys. Yeah, I'm excited for Paddy. He's a very young talent.
You know, Superman Shashak had put in another fantastic performance, and as a 13-2 underdog, I think, on the betting lines, you know, he dominated Damian Rooney. Is there a title? Is there a flyweight title shot in that young man's future anytime soon?
Totally. Shaq is I can't keep up with Shaq when he's fighting. He's fast, man. You know, and even the way he was moving tonight, doing all his fancy footwork, waving his hands around, he's entertaining to watch. You know, he's a good kid. So there is a title there that we have spoken about, and we'll probably have that chat again this week and see if we're going to put pen to paper on that. Yeah.
It seems that the respective camps of both guys seem to be going for the Hack vs Caswell flyweight title fight. That's
an interesting fight. I like that. Yeah.
I know Caswell called out both of them, said they were both losers because one of them's going to lose tonight, the other one's going to lose to me. Is that if that's not fighting talk, I don't know what it is. Does that, as a promoter though, isn't that what you want from your fighters, to be outspoken about what they want?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's their career. At the end of the day, it's a team game. They got coaches, they got the managers and stuff, but when it comes down to it, it's about the fighter. It's about the fighter marketing himself and being clever with his words. So yeah, if they want to jump on social media, plot and plan and call guys out, make guys look silly, then, you know, go for it.
Has there been any more thought put into Jack Marshman versus Jack Hermansson?
Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll probably do that in the new year sometime. No, it'll be in the new year sometime. It won't happen this year. But Jack is the number one. He's the number one guy. Marshman is the number one in that middleweight division now. Yeah, that'll happen.
I have to ask, because at Newport we spoke about Jack, and you were saying he's never made weight at a title limit. You know, it was something you had to talk. Did you speak? Have you spoke with Jack or his camp? Have they assured you that extra pound's going to be no worries at all? Because obviously a title implication if he fails to make weight.
Yeah, I've had that conversation with the camp. We chatted. We had a look at the history, and they've guaranteed me and given their word that he'll be on weight. So I can only take them for that and hope that the professionalism stays within that, and if we go to the effort of putting that title fight on, that he makes that weight.
And have you got a location in mind for that fight?
Not yet, no. We haven't looked at locations or the dates yet, but we'll get there.
I noticed Ian Dean just standing over my corner, so he's not going to thank me for this, but I think if I got my math even close to right, something like 38 fights in 2 weeks he's put together. How much more can we expect to see for New Year's Eve? Is there going to be any of Ian Dean left?
He'll be there. He'll be there.
He's a little shrivel of a man.
He likes putting these fights on. If there's no fights to get on, he gets grumpy. So the more I give him, the more smiler he gets. Got to keep the smile on his face. Yeah.
And you say no more European. You've got Copper Box November 15th, which is just a hella card, and then the last event of the year is December 31st. Is that it now?
Yeah, that'd be it. I mean, like I said, there was 4 others in the Middle East that were all going back to back, but because of everything that's going on there, it's just best we leave them for the new year.
What are you going to spend your December doing? You got, it gives you a little bit of downtime in terms of, planning 2015. What do you want for, this time next year? How many Cage Warriors are we going to have had the pleasure of seeing?
For next year, we'll see. For December, I've dusted my boxing gloves off recently. I'm back sparring, so I'll probably spend December getting my face punched. Do some face conditioning.
Yeah. One last question.
Yeah.
About Brett John's Cage Warriors contract. Is there anything to update us on that?
I haven't heard from their camp yet. Last I heard, he had a hand injury that he was looking after and nursing, so I don't know what the update is. When the guys are signed with us, we have a lot of fighters signed, so if we don't hear from them asking for dates or fights, we assume they're either injured or they're not ready or they've got plans. So last I heard, he was nursing a hand injury. Okay. So I haven't heard anything since.
So I got one more because I'm afraid of her and she'll kill me. Catherine Costigan, every time we talk to her, she keeps saying, Grail and Boylan, give me an atomweight title fight. Is that something maybe we could expect for New Year's Eve?
We've got to look to try and find other atomweights for Catherine. I've said this before in a previous post-fight presser where there's no doubt Catherine's talented, but then if we stick the belt out there for her and she wins it, then who else is there for her? We need to find a few challengers for her. Find someone who's on par with her to actually fight for the belt, and then B, can we get another 1 or 2 underneath that to step in and challenge? And I don't want it to be another situation like she's just got no one to fight.
So while you're sparring, Ian Dean's on the computer looking for, credible atomweights.
Yeah, I might have to get him to cut weight. He might have to cut fighter himself.
Thanks for your time, Graham.
No problem. Thank you for coming, boys.
Cheers. Thank you.